The May 30th game update brought console changes, gallery maintenance, and bug fixes. Hello, my name is Jennifer, and welcome to my Sims 4 news video. So the patch notes cover the gallery maintenance, more changes to console controls, and some bug fixes. I'm also going to go over the mod impact and the fact that there's new console control feedback thread on EA Answer headquarters re those changes to the console controls. We also got an announcement of 2 new kits. I have a separate video on that, which I will link at the end if you'd like to go check that out. The kits are out on June 1st, i.e. this Thursday. So The Sims Direct tweeted, today's update to The Sims 4 includes a number of bug fixes alongside some important changes to the controls on PlayStation and Xbox based on all the player feedback you have provided, and they link to the patch notes, which I'll be going over. They also tweeted, The Sims 4 gallery maintenance has also begun. This extended maintenance is part of an initiative to bring additional flexibility and future feature updates to the gallery, but don't worry, all your creation, comments, likes, and downloads will be there once maintenance completes, but they haven't given us any indication as how long the maintenance is going to be. They, of course, had told us ahead of time that this was going to happen, and it was supposed to have started at 6 a.m. Pacific earlier in the day. So the first thing they talked about in the update notes was about the gallery maintenance, and right now it is still down, and we don't know when it's going to be coming back, like I said. So at launch, once it's working again, PC and MapleSimmers will notice that the news tab isn't there, and it currently isn't there. And then the gallery news feed is not feeding anymore, which of course you wouldn't expect it to because it's down, but it won't be, period. This is temporary, and we'll be looking at bringing them back in some form at a later date, not announced. Console players will also get these features when they return, which is good. That's one of the main things I use on there, so I'm going to be missing it until they bring them back. Trending hashtags will be unavailable, but you can search, and it will also return. Commenting from the sims.com website will be temporarily unavailable when the gallery returns because I want to bring it back as quickly as possible, but you need to be in the game to leave new comments. Of course, they're planning on bringing that back, and due to technical issues, the gallery will be temporarily disabled on Macs running El Capitan 10.11 and Sierra 10.12, and you'll be able to have anything you already downloaded that's in your library, and they are bringing it back to those systems as soon as possible. And Sims Direct will have updates on the gallery, though I haven't seen anything other than what I've shown here. And while this update is available to download and play, i.e. the game update, the gallery will be unavailable while the team works behind the scenes on bringing the new services online. And when the gallery returns, you will not need to do anything additional as long as you have installed the update. But if you haven't installed the update, you will not be able to get into the gallery anymore. You need to make sure you have this version of the game to be able to get to the gallery. So if you're Mac on those systems, it won't help you not to install the update to be able to get onto it. It's just not going to be there until they bring it back. Hopefully they'll bring it back soon. So what's new? What's new is all about console and console controls. First, based on the feedback, they have restored some previous functionality in build mode and made some additional improvements, so they say, to bring consistency between game modes and what controller buttons do. They gave an example. In Create a Sim, the bumper buttons would switch between sims, but in live mode, you would have used the triggers as the bumpers would adjust the game speed. So with this update in live mode, switching between sims will be handled by bumper buttons to align with CIS, and the triggers will adjust the game speed. So there are a bunch of differences, and you can see them there. So pause this if you want to take a look at it. But just in general, it seems like it's going to be a lot of having to remember new controls, which I can understand would be very frustrating. And from what I can see from the feedback, a lot of the feedback is negative right now. They're saying it's supposed to mean less buttons and more consistency, and it's supposed to be better in the end. But, console players are the ones playing with it, and they don't seem very happy with it. So speaking of that feedback, the Sims 4 on console feedback thread, there's a new one that EA has created. The old one is locked. So this thread is intended to gather any feedback you have for The Sims 4 that specifically relates to the console versions of the game. Any feedback you wish to provide on performance, controls, or the UI is welcome here. But please keep the feedback constructive, as they can do a lot more with I don't like X because Y then X is stupid thing that is stupid. So it just gives you an idea. So it's not really meant to be a venting thread. And the problem with it being a venting thread is then they're not seeing the actual feedback. But at the same time, I can understand why it becomes a venting thread, because it's the only forum that you can, display your dissatisfaction with the changes that they've made if you're unhappy with it. So if you have any comments, I definitely recommend going over there, but I'm curious as to what you think, so I'd love to know in a comment down below. But make sure you also put it on the official site, because that's where they're going to do something about it. So the bug fixes. There were a lot of bug fixes, more than the laundry list seemed to indicate. As an example, there was the laundry list. There were, I think, about 12 items on there, and 4 of them were console build mode related, which from my understanding and from my quick look, everything on this laundry list was noted in the update notes as fixed and has been closed over on EA Answer headquarters. So let's go back to the actual bug fixes, and this is base game. And you can see there are a lot. I'm not going to read them all, but there were some where your Sims were getting moodlets stuck with a pulled muscle and fatigued uncomfortable buffs, and that's supposed to expire over time now. I've had that issue. Sims will get age-appropriate moodlets and buff, and not ones from a previous age. Again, an issue I've had. There were some benches that were supposed to be outdoor benches. They've now been set as outdoor benches in the control, in essentially the settings. So when you have to build, say, a park and you need an outdoor bench, it'll satisfy that requirement, which is where it would have become an issue versus, just it didn't matter otherwise, but it would for something like a park where you needed it. The infant kids now have energy values noted when you look at it in build mode. I'm sure they're low. I haven't even looked yet. And there was a top that was fixed. I've noticed a few things have had fixes clothing and build wise across the patch notes for different packs too. So the game library button on the main menu will remain left aligned even if you take the game offline and then reconnect where it should be. There's some things with starting scenarios and CS stories that have been fixed. Here's a big one. Building a relationship between photographer and model takes time. At least it should. It was noted that the relationship and reputation increased too rapidly while taking photos of or with another sim, so that's been fixed. I'd rather they would have spent time fixing other things than that. I actually like that. I thought of it as a feature as opposed to a bug. But if you, like me, like that feature/bug, someone has created a mod to bring that back if you're on computer and use mods. And that will be shown on the mod information I show later on. Family trees are now supposed to be fixed, and toddlers can use the babble or talk interaction on large stuffed animals like Blarfy as much as they like, and they don't need to wait hours between that babbling. So let's move along. Console actually got a lot of bug fixes. There were 4 on the laundry list. They were there, plus some other things. These all seem to be mostly build by gallery-ish related, so you can see them. Seasons, if you added Seasons expansion pack to an existing game, it will no longer put you in a season select nightmare when trying to purchase and open a business. There's a necklace that gives you customized color options. Like I said, there were a few clothing things and build by things that had changes done. So Snowy Escape, fixed to the lessons, and also workaholics should not burn out at the same rate as Sims without the same lifestyle. So that's kind of a Snowy Escape growing together thing together. So cottage living, purchasing seeds on consoles now include additional information on how to complete the purchase without needing to view the controls. High school years. This was a big one, I guess. It was on the laundry list. Teens that get expelled from high school will no longer be able to re-enroll. So they were getting stuck where they would re-enroll and get expelled again. And I guess that was because they weren't allowed to re-enroll, so they would get expelled again. So now you just can't re-enroll. Another necklace that was fixed or got more color options to pick with it. Growing together, Sims with tracked milestones won't forget about them if they're moved into a non-played household. I know there was an issue with rotational milestones. So I guess when you stopped playing them, they were considered non-played, even though they were on the played count. I don't know. That doesn't seem like the description that the bug report is, but the bug report is closed, so hopefully it's actually truly fixed. Sims can now have a difficult family dynamic with their spouses. So there's that. Another couple of build buy things that have gotten additional tooltips added to them. Paranoid and squeamish self-discovery moments should be less frequent after declining either one, and decrease the frequency of self-discovery when Sims are promoted. And last but not least, there's laundry day stuff. We've called in a repair service job, and they came by and made improvements to the washing machines and dryers to make them more reliable. So there was an issue, I think, where they would break and then you couldn't fix them. I can't remember, but hopefully it's working better now. Carnival Streetwear, there were some fixes to create a sim with that. That's all there is with that. And Basement Treasures, there is a chest there, and now you can use it for treasures. And on for the broken mods and whatnot. So the all CC rent replacement removal mods were broken. The more columns in CIS by Weirbeso was broken. More traits in CIS by the Pancake One and Mizor Yuki was broken. The outdated mod by Biancan, which was to do with that laundry day issue, that was fixed. And here's a couple that were cleared. And I also know the version I'm looking here doesn't show this, but MCCC, both the public and Patreon versions were also cleared. And there's that new bug fixing mod by Rubber Band if you want to get that relationship gain when taking pictures back in your game. It's there and linked on this. I have a blog post where everything is linked, and that blog post will be linked below so you can get to everything from there. And then there's a few mods that have been updated at the time that I got this screenshot, but I do recommend you head over and check out Loose Post to see when you're doing that, because at this point there's not a lot that's been cleared or shown as broken. So I would say keep an eye on this. The pre-rebranding pack icons, that's to, from my understanding, just add the new kits. Not actually really broken, but it's been updated to add those new kits. And then you can see there's the other ones there. Now, I'm just going to show this briefly. So if you've already done the update, you've already done it, but these are still things that you can use if you're having problems afterwards. But I always recommend making a backup of your saves before you update, which means, copy them and put them somewhere else, preferably off your computer, but even anywhere on your computer, and just don't touch them in case there is a problem, which right now I'm not seeing any reports, but just in case there is. And I would say move your mods folder to your desktop. If you don't, mods are automatically disabled. And then after you update, I always repair my game and delete my local thumb cache file. I do have a tutorial video if you want to check it out. It will be linked in that blog post that I mentioned down below too. So let me know what you think about the update. Are you missing the gallery already? I am, and I'm going to be missing that news feed. Who knows how long the gallery is going to take to come back, and who knows how long that's going to take to come back, because it's going to take even longer. And if you're a console player, what do you think of the changes to console? I would like to know, but as I said before, make sure you go give your feedback over there, and it will be more helpful if it's constructive and you tell them what you would like it to be. Even if it's that you would like it to go back to how it was. I mean, that still is saying something constructive, because you're saying what you like. And are you, like me, thinking of using that mod to bring that relationship gain back for the photos? I'm not going to do it right away, but I may. I'll see how it goes. But that's actually going to be it for this video. Likes and comments are always appreciated, and they really help with the algorithms. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!